And we're also, for the very first time, I want to shout out to our TikTok friends.
Hey!
We passed a milestone this week. We got 1,000 subscribers.
Hi, guys.
And now we can go live on TikTok. So hello, the world of TikTok. Anyway, tonight we're going to talk about... Happy New Year.
Hey!
It's the first time we're on since the beginning of the year. Hopefully everybody's New Year's and holidays went really well. I know ours did.
And I'm personally really excited about 2023.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be really good.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we're super excited about this.
I know it is. I know it's going to be really
Tonight we're going to bring you, we're going to talk about confidence and how to build your confidence, how to maintain your confidence, because confidence can get you really far in life. It can really, think about the confident people you know. And most people I see are not confident. They feel a little like they're a turtle in their shell or don't want to come out and do things. But they're confident in comfortable situations.
Sure.
What do you think about that?
I think yes. And I think what's interesting about confidence is you kind of either have it or you don't. There really isn't an in between, right? I mean,
I'm going to disagree a little bit. I'm going to say you have it in certain situations and you don't have it in other situations.
Well, but you have it or you don't. But it's not like I mean, like,
you mean in a
situation,
yes. Okay.
You either have it or you're like, oh my God, I'm totally like fish out of water. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God. Right. So yeah, I don't mean like you always have massive confidence or you never have massive confidence. I'm saying it is situational for sure.
Sure. Everybody goes from one
well, and I would say too, anybody who had, gatherings around the holidays, friends get-togethers, family get-togethers over the holidays, there are just some people that you may know and have known for years that you have a lot of confidence hanging out with, or that you don't. And, I think everybody has the experience of, that uncle or that cousin or that person who shows up and they're like asking you questions, but you feel like they're questioning you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's the job going?
You're like, why? Why are they asking that? Or why do they think what? Do they think I'm fucking up, or is it okay if I just said that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just not on TikTok. Oh. No. How's the job going? It might be unemployed. Ooh,
yeah. And like, I don't know, there may just be some people that you don't feel confident around, and then some situations that you don't feel confident around. So
I was thinking about my lack of confidence on something.
You have a lack of confidence?
On something.
Ever?
I've been wanting to go to the gun range. And okay. I don't know if I know all the etiquette at the new gun range.
Okay.
And I feel a little lack of confidence
there. Should we go ask?
Yeah, I think we should. I think I want to, when we get back from our event, I want to go over there and talk to them and see what the proper etiquette is for that particular range.
Cool.
And just besides the basic like fours and stuff like that, but just I want to see how to come in with you. Anyway, what can you do to become more confident in 2023?
Man, can I tell you what I've done so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the first thing I did was this time, I really seriously put a vision board together. Like I've never actually done a vision board. And I don't know why I hadn't done it in the past, but this time I just said, you know what, I'm going to do this. Like, this is important. I'm going to do this. And I immediately feel more confident. Like I see what I'm working toward. I see what my goals are in a very, not just the words that are important for me for this year, but also like the actual pictures of stuff that I'm looking at and thinking, yes, I'm going to make this happen. And all I see are possibilities. That's all I see.
Your vision board's awesome too. I saw it.
Thank you.
There's some things in there we share. There's some things we share on that vision board.
Yes, I put your G-Wagon on my vision board.
Yeah, we did G-Wagon.
I don't personally think they're good looking, but I know he wants one, so his goal is my goal. So, yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
the first thing we're going to talk about a dozen or so things here over the next 45, 50 minutes on what you can do to build confidence. The first thing we can do is
this in a moment where you're not feeling confident?
Yeah, you're not feeling confident. Okay. Let's just say you're not feeling confident.
I'm having this moment where I'm just like,
let's say you're looking at here's a situation that someone at my level might be.
Yeah.
If I had to go, let's say I'm starting another business, a different business, and I'm looking for investors or I'm looking for financial partners.
And you're starting to feel like, okay, now I fish out of water. I'm not.
I want to have confidence beyond
absolutely.
confidence to have the most confidence I can have that this is a great deal, and not just enthusiasm, but confidence that I'm going to nail this.
All right. So what do you do? What do you do?
So what I would do. So number one, first thing you can do to build your confidence is to log your achievements. If I look at what I've done, I've had 30 years of owning my own companies. I've had investors in the past. I've had returns for my investors. I've had success on many businesses. I've had failures on a few businesses too. I wouldn't call them failures, but I've had lessons learned. You can't fail unless you quit, but I've had lessons learned on many of these businesses. What's that?
I like that.
So you start writing down your accomplishments. You know, I started my first business at 14 years old. I went around, knocked on doors, and got business from my local neighbors. I hated cutting grass, so I did other odd jobs at their houses. I painted things. I fixed things inside the house. I worked on their cars. You know, at 26 years old, I launched an auto repair shop and car and detailing business. I had to secure some financing on that company. I had to work. I had to convince auto insurance companies to give me insurance so that I could legally operate my company. There were some of the accomplishments. What were some of your achievements you would have if you were going to do something like that?
So for building confidence, log your achievements. I would say some of the times where I felt like I needed to do that. I just started writing down the things that I've done. I've successfully had a business for over 20 years. I've grown amazing relationships within those 20 plus years of folks that would, do me a favor or that I've helped them and that they want to help me. I have 2 phenomenal kids. I mean, I know that doesn't sound like
but that's an accomplishment.
An achievement, but it is
the hardest job in the world.
I'm taking care of myself. I'm in good health. You can list things that don't necessarily have to be business oriented, but just even saying things like, I'm a really good friend for people, or I'm a really good.
I graduated high school. I graduated college. I graduated med school. Whatever it is,
right,
I know doctors.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know doctors, lawyers, top of the profession type people who are unconfident in their ways. They just happen to be talented in a couple different sections and able to move up there.
I've met plenty of women, especially speakers who have either spoken at or attended our conferences. And it's kind of that moment right before they go on, they get a little nervous. And I just kind of remind them like, hey, you are, the senior vice president of your company, of a major, large utility organization or some other type of company. You've had military experience, so I sort of remind them what their accomplishments are to make them feel more confident in the moment.
I remember one of our conferences, and Ashley handles all the speakers and all the running around. And this woman was our next speaker coming up. And I'm miking her up and going through, hey, do you need anything, water or anything? And she says, I effing hate doing this. She goes, I'm nervous. I think she said, I'm not confident I can do this. This woman, I didn't know who she was. And again, Ashley handles the speakers. And I apologize. I should know all my speakers. And it turns out she was the CEO of a major household name corporation. And I didn't know this, and actually brought her in.
She was probably one of our highest level speakers.
Yeah, and I'm just like, really? You're unconfident? Like, when she got up on stage, like,
don't you
wow,
do this all the time?
Like, you do this all the time? And that's how she was. But anyway, going back to the first thing you do is log your achievements to gain confidence, and like you have done things in this life. You have been
personal,
successful,
professional, financial.
Yeah, you have had success.
Done things that have given you that
joy.
If you look back on them, you'll realize that'll help build your confidence because you will have logged these achievements. You want me to take number 2?
It's one of my favorite things
is to call out. So number 2. Call out your imposter syndrome. You want to take this from here?
Man, so hey, you guys, anybody who's been following me for any amount of time or known me all my life, I'm an outgoing person. You think I'm out there and confident and doing all this stuff. Usually, most of the time, uh, I took a class in 2018 where I realized I've been hiding behind, or I had imposter syndrome all my life, and I would jump out with my personality to overcome that imposter syndrome, and it was eye opening to me.
You do have a big personality.
I do, but I always felt like I never belonged where I was.
Right.
I always felt like I was the odd man. I shouldn't be in this room. I shouldn't be. I mean, even my family. I really felt out with my family. I felt out in every school I went to. I never. There was only a few times in my life that I felt that I was confident, or I felt that I didn't have imposter syndrome and I belonged right where I was, and I excelled each one of those times.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've certainly had situations where I just had that little nagging feeling like, man, I don't know anybody here. I probably am not as experienced as these women and their businesses. And, what do I have to offer them? And just had to kind of like, okay, I've acknowledged that this is the feeling that I'm having. I need to just like set it aside and do what I know how, do what I do best. And then it just melts away.
All right. Number three way to build your confidence. Become a mentor to someone. Start small. You have skills that someone else doesn't have. Even just a mentor to a child or a mentor to, it's interesting, my point in my life, three of my biggest mentors are younger than I am. And I look up to them. And you can have mentors at any stage in your life, depending. And I encourage you to have multiple mentors and become a mentor. What is it that you do well that nobody else does well? Right.
Right. So number 3, become a mentor. So one of the things that I've seen is, when you're mentoring somebody, they don't necessarily need to be at a different level than you. They just may not have as much experience in what you do. So where I may not have as much business experience as someone else, I do have a lot of experience being in front of a stage and speaking publicly. And they always say like that's the number 1 or number 2 biggest fear that people have is public speaking. So
let's get back on this. Yes. The number 1 fear most people have is public speaking.
I thought it was going to the dentist.
They fear it more than dying.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes. Think about that. So the number 1 fear
there's a big
is public speaking.
Big piece to talk about, especially when you're talking about confidence. So the thing that I can bring is either to help people make them feel a little bit more comfortable when they're standing in front of a group of people, or reminding them why they're speaking or what it is they need to focus on as they present, instead of thinking about, oh my God, I'm speaking in front of a bunch of people and I don't know what to say and I'm really terrified.
Yeah.
So that's how you can mentor other people. You may be good at something that they're not good at. It doesn't necessarily mean somebody needs to be older or younger. They just might have less experience at it than you do.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Number 4, accept compliments. So my mother was absolutely fantastic at this. Anytime somebody would pay her a compliment, and they did it often, she was extremely well dressed, always had her makeup just so, had a fabulous hat on, a phenomenal outfit, and somebody would stop her and say how terrific she looked, and she'd just look them right in the eye and say, thank you. So what I found was when I would get a compliment, regardless if it was just whatever it was, if it was about my appearance, and this is an old jacket, or my hair came out funny today, or and you got to stop yourself from doing that, because that's actually something that undercuts your confidence. So accept the compliment.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I have a hard time with it too. I have a hard time like, hey, that's what you're trying, because again, you're not confident in yourself or whatever it is, or we've been taught this for a long time from people that, you know, people giving you compliments shouldn't be a good thing, or shouldn't be, you should like, oh,
It's almost
I wasn't that
braggy.
good. Yeah, I wasn't that, I'm
Right.
not that good. I didn't do that. Yeah, that's just normal.
Like, no, it's okay to accept the compliment. Actually, my mother would say, thank you. And thank you so much for saying so. You know, like
Yes.
she'd give an extra, like, thanks for even like just mentioning it.
Yes.
Like taking that moment. So
The next thing you do, this is one of my favorite things.
I like this one too.
Fake it until you make it. This is sort of the opposite of imposter syndrome. This is telling you to fake it, to be that imposter. Nobody feels like they're where they should be. Nobody feels comfortable. But fake it until you make it. What would be a great example of that? I know. I got a good example.
Okay.
When I had my first car business, I opened the doors, and our first customer didn't come in for 9 days. Oof. I thought I made the biggest mistake of my life. I didn't understand marketing. I didn't understand all the intricacies of owning a business. I was a young business owner.
But if I build it, they will come.
Absolutely.
And you're like, where are they?
Yeah, you know how it works, right? So what I did, and this is my marketing I did, I had some people I knew, and I had room for 5 cars on. I had 3 lifts, and I had room for cars on lifts and stuff like that. So I would ask to borrow their car for the day, and I told them I would wash their car and return it to them really nicely. And then I put the cars up on the lift and put tools around them and made it look like business was going on in the shop. So
that's awesome.
That was sort of faking it until I made it.
It is. But they always, wherever you are in business, and any business guru that you talk to, the first thing that they will tell you is to go to people that you already know.
Right.
Go to your friends and family. Ask for their support, because, and that's an excellent example. So, Number 5, fake it till you make it. Here's my example. So when I first got out of college, I was working as a sales assistant at a hotel, which is basically a glorified secretary position for all of the sales managers in the sales and catering department at the hotel where I worked. And I really didn't want to have that job for very long because it was very low pay. And I was also it just wasn't that wasn't why I went to college. So I wore really professional suits and dresses every single day. I said, I'm going to wear what the sales managers wear. I'm going to wear what the general manager wears. I'm going to wear what my eventual clients wear when they show up to host a conference or an event, so that I am looked at as a manager or somebody who's at a higher level than where I was. So that was my fake it till I make it moment. And I really wasn't a sales assistant for terribly long, even though it probably felt like it was. But I eventually got, I moved up. I moved up because I could see myself moving up.
I can see that. What's next?
Number 6, ask why. Get to the root cause of why you're wavering in your confidence. Why are you feeling not confident right now? Is there something bugging you? Is there something in your background? Is there something coming up for you? It's a really important moment to just kind of distinguish, okay, is there a voice going on in my head telling me I'm not good enough, or like I don't have, like, what is it that's happening here?
I know a situation where people, one situation where people don't have confidence.
What's that?
Is negotiating for a new car or
negotiating anything.
Negotiating anything, but especially car dealership.
Yeah.
And/or, as the housing market's starting to soften now, there's deals to be had. You can go out there and cut some more deals in certain areas and stuff. But why is it that I had no problem negotiating with car people because I was in the car business, but most people, I see the fear that, no, I can't do that. But the reality is, when you're buying a car, if you save $500, $500 is real money. And so it's either their money, it's either their family or your family. I mean, that would be the
Sure.
why.
Well, negotiating for a raise, or negotiating for a job, or negotiating for benefits. I mean,
yeah,
all of these are things that I'm not saying you only get one chance to do it. In fact, there are probably people out there who think, oh, well, I only, now that I've already asked for it, I can't go back and ask for it again. Like, well, actually, you can. But anyway,
we own our own. We own our own events company. I don't even know if we introduce ourselves to the people that might not know us.
We're so excited to
we're
go
Ashley
live.
and Gus. We own a couple of events companies. We negotiate contracts all the time. It's part of what we do, and half the time it's not win or lose to one side or the other. It's why it's there's so many moving parts that sometimes just standard. Like, hey, here's the contract. Here's how it goes out. And we look at it like, we don't need this. We're not going to need that. We do need this. So we negotiate those things back and forth. Anyway, ask why are you fearful of this? This was going back to, we got off topic here, but going back to the why. Ask why are you not confident in the situation?
I think negotiation is a really good example of that. So number 7 is look after yourself. Like, really take care of yourself. Make sure you're getting exercise. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. Make sure you're doing things that take care of your physical and your mental health.
Here's something we just past the holiday season. A lot of air traffic going on, a lot of air travel going on, a lot of air screw ups going on. But one of the things that actually I travel a lot that just bugs me. People don't take care of themselves, not looking after themselves. They show up to go on a flight in slides and pajama bottoms. And it's just like, are you kidding me? Like, you're getting on a plane. Like, you might run into somebody. You never know. You're one conversation away from your life changing. Talking to the right person. And if you're not taking care of yourself and you're not showing up properly, I guarantee you that people will take notice. Or people won't notice.
I do this when I start to feel a little nervous, or if my confidence is shaking. I will play my favorite song. I'll start dancing. I'll go for a run. I'll call a friend. I'll just do some things that make me feel good, because if I'm doing that, I'm taking care of myself, and that boosts my confidence.
100%. So cool. What's next? We got be kind and courteous. This will build your confidence. Go a whole day. I got a challenge for you.
Ooh, I like that.
Go a whole day of seeing ways you can be kind or courteous to people. I've done this a few times where I said, I'm going to see how many doors I can open for people. I'm going to find a situation where someone needs help, and I'm going to help them today. And leave this. I'm going to tonight. We have to go out. We have to go out to the store tonight. I'm going to find a way to be courteous to someone tonight, deliberately.
You could be courteous to everyone.
I got a little trick that you and I were talking about. You want confidence?
Yeah.
Here's a power move.
Ooh.
And it's really simple.
It is. It's simple, but in the moment you sort of forget it.
You're stopped at a 4-way stop sign.
Okay.
Tell the other person to go. Tell the other person to go.
Yeah,
hey, buddy, your turn.
Go ahead.
You're in charge at that moment. You want confidence going? That gives you confidence. You're the guy in charge. Yeah, you didn't get to go through the traffic light, but I'm just telling you, or the stop sign first. But I'm telling you,
don't mess up everybody else's traffic pattern. But if it's your turn and
if you have the opportunity to do that,
to wave somebody along,
you go.
I like that.
Yes.
So number 8, be kind and generous. So
yes.
Take a moment to be graceful. Think about, this isn't about who's winning or losing. Just be gracious. Allow the other person to take that step first. It'll actually boost your confidence.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
This one's a good one. And I've done this. The next one, number 9, I've done this naturally for most of my life, but not everybody does this. Be prepared. I mean, I was in the Boy Scouts. That's probably why I maybe be prepared. But let's go deeper on being prepared today. Okay. And let's look at you meeting someone, whether it's a date, a potential client, a potential product solution provider, you're going on a job interview. a
You're
friend
meeting a
of a
prospect to
friend.
work with you.
For
A
us,
prospective
it's a new
employee.
speaker. There's this thing called the internet, and we have apps like LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. You can find out a treasure trove of information about anybody.
It's true.
So be prepared on who your next meeting with, what you're going to do. Be prepared on. You can learn how. We talked about this before. I guarantee you, there's somebody teaching brain surgery on YouTube. There's someone every automotive, anything you'll possibly do to an automotive car, do to a car to fix it. Someone's teaching it on YouTube. Be prepared.
Look it up.
Look it up. Be
prepared.
Get yourself ready to tackle whatever it is you're going to tackle in life.
So number 9, be prepared. My example for be prepared, especially around speaking, especially around the fact that we host events, we host conferences. Know your presentation, know your audience, know what you're talking about. I mean, the whole point of you speaking is because you're a subject matter expert in something. But part of preparation and part of the reason why people get nervous isn't necessarily what they're talking about, but it's really structuring how they're going to say it. What examples they're going to use, how long they have, like what's the amount of time that they have to fill, and making sure that they have appropriate graphics to back up what they're talking about. The more prepared you are, the more you practice your presentation, the more you time your presentation, the more comfortable and confident you'll be when you're up there actually giving it.
Yes.
So that'll give you confidence because you've done it before.
All right. What's next?
Number 10, visualize your success. So my example for this
visualize your success. Visualize your success.
Yes. So my example for this is my vision board, which I finally, it's not finished, but it's almost done. And it's really, it's basically a photo visual representation of the goals that I have, the goals and dreams that I have for 2023 and beyond.
And it can go much deeper than that. I like the idea. So I want my own jet. I'm going to own my own jet one day. I visualize me leaving the house. I visualize me getting into my Benz. I visualize driving to the hangar, parking the car where the jet was. I visualize walking up the steps with the color carpet, the grayish color carpet, and the owner's seat on the plane. I visualize the whole process. The pilot asking me, "Are we good? What do we need?" And then us 2 hours later landing in some place with a much different climate than where we currently are. I visualize the whole thing, the landing there, the being greeted by the car, going to the house that we have there.
Well, how lovely. I like
yes.
that. That's a really great visualization. So, yeah, one of the things that I do when I go for a run in the morning is I basically daydream while I'm running. I mean, I'm on a closed path, so I can just let my brain go wherever it wants to. And it's usually visualizing myself in very successful situations around the people that I've always dreamt of being around. So it adds to my confidence when I get back to the office and start working.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, what's next?
Number 11, get yourself a positive affirmation.
Get yourself a positive affirmation. Today I will be great.
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah. So this is a really this is a really physical. When you talk to yourself and you work with yourself in the positive, it physically changes who you are. Ashley and I did a conference about a few years ago, and the woman did an exercise in the front of the room, and I forget I know what it was.
Yes.
She has everybody get with a partner and hold their arms out lengthwise like this. Everybody can see me holding my arms out. And she said, I want you to...
My job was to push down on Gus's arm.
My job is to push my arms down from behind or from the front. And the job of the person holding their arms up was to say no, 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 no. As they said no, 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 everybody's arms flopped right to their side. They were able to be pushed down. Now the woman said, now turn around and do the same exercise. Except this time say yes, yes, yes. Nobody's arms were pushed down. And the people who couldn't push through, people who were holding their arms were like, wow.
It makes that much of a difference.
It was just amazing how much of a difference it made saying yes inside your brain versus saying no. And it was a pretty powerful exercise.
It is powerful. I had a situation, actually, every Friday, Gus and I go to our strength trainer to work out, and there are some machines on there that...
Do you feel strong after you do that?
I do feel strong after I do it. Well, the moment I finish, I'm like, oh my God, thank God that's over. But when I'm in the middle of, or when I hear 2 more reps, and I go, oh, I can't do 2 more reps, right? Well, if I say that to myself, I really struggle getting those last 2 reps. So I have practiced saying yes, 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 yes. Sometimes I just say it out loud, or I say it in my head, and I just push through those last 2, and I'm like, yeah, see, okay,
yes,
I did it.
Yes.
That's my positive. Sometimes my positive affirmation is simply saying yes.
Yeah. So there are tips on being more confident. We have more tips. What we got? Anything else?
You know,
did you want to add something?
I some of my own personal ones that I do. I think I mentioned before about playing my favorite song. If I just have that moment where I'm feeling kind of icky and kind of not confident, I'll put on like I'm Every Woman, or a couple of other songs that just make me, just I feel better. Or I'll call a friend who's always really supportive and is just kind of rah cheerleader, like, hey man, I just need a boost, give me something. I see possibilities. I'll think about things after they're done in a success, like the success, visualizing success. And then the other thing that actually is another one from my mother: get makeup, put on makeup, do your hair, dress nice. I started working from home years ago. I know for a lot of people that was kind of a new thing to start working from home. But when I was working from home, I found that the more dressed up I was when I was on the phone with people and doing business with people and negotiating with people, I felt more confident in who I was as a professional and how I showed up. Like, even if they couldn't see me because we were on the phone, I was looking good. My hair looked good. My makeup looked good. I felt confident about who I was and what I was putting out to the world. So there's some tips. What have you got?
I'll add this. We all have a special tool. Going back to where we talked about being prepared. We all have a special tool, our phone, with great video capabilities. Most people have really good video capabilities. Practice with yourself. Prepare. Go someplace quiet where no one else is around and record yourself and then play it back to yourself. And you will become so much better at whatever it is you're trying to get your point across or do something, or even in a if it's a hobby or something like that. I play guitar. I don't play guitar very well. I record myself sometimes playing guitar, and I go like, oh, I should look at why does my hand look like that versus this? And it's just like, you have to go back and play it to get the confidence to play the guitar properly, the confidence to pick up the instrument again, for me anyway, or the sales presentation, or a signature speech. I mean, high level, not many people are, we talk about this, not many people are getting on stages. Record yourself for an hour of getting ready to go on stage and talk about something. Laugh at yourself too. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
It's part of it.
I mean, we're all human. And I think what happens so frequently is that we try so hard to be perfect that we forget to be real. And there's so much more confidence and authenticity than there is in trying to be something that you're not. So don't mean that to go completely against the fake it till you make it, but there's definitely an aspect of, it's okay to be real. It's okay to tell your audience when you're speaking about the completely funny, silly thing that happened that you were so nervous about giving your presentation that when you were at the filling station to get gas, you drove off with the hose still connected to your car. It's a great icebreaker. He's seen it happen 100 times, but like I'm so busy or I'm so rushed. And you know what? Your audience actually really appreciates that. They appreciate when you take that moment to just be real.
I had a sales manager, and this dude was awesome.
Yeah.
And he left the organization I was in and went to a competing organization, and he spent 2 weeks putting together it was a seven-figure contract.
Wow.
And he was someone who was not. He was always prepared, but he wasn't always organized.
Okay.
He could dig himself. He could dig himself out of any situation. So the morning of his presentation, he's getting in his car and he backs out of his driveway and he hears this loud crunch. And he realized he had put his laptop and briefcase on the roof of his car and it had slid off and underneath the wheels of his car. And he drove over his own laptop and it became unusable. But you talk about the confidence and then moving forward with that. So
let me guess, his presentation was on his laptop.
Oh, of course it was.
Okay.
And so was all the handouts and everything. Everything was destroyed.
Super.
And it was so him.
Now we have the cloud.
But he had done the presentation and stuff, so he kind of remembered it and went into the presentation saying, "You're not going to believe this. I ran over my own laptop. Here it is." And everybody was like, "Really?"
I think that's be human. Be people understand that. People love that, right? In fact, when you share something that authentic about yourself or that real about yourself, you're giving other people the permission to be real too, which makes us all feel much more at ease. So, yeah.
All right. With that, we need to roll.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great.
Real quick, Ashley Baptiste with Conferences Connect.
And Gus Calabrese, theadvancedconference.com, happening less than a week from today.
Oh my God.
Theadvancedconference.com. Go there. Join us in Miami. It's going to be fun.
Yes.
It's going to be exciting.
Gonna be amazing. We have some serious heavy hitters in the room. Can I name them?
You can name them.
Okay. I just confirmed, like maybe a week ago, Sophia Castro. If you know anything about real estate and real estate investment, Sophia Castro and her husband, Bobby, have just done amazing work.
They built a $1 billion company.
They've built an empire, and she is so eager to share her experience and her playbook with you at the Power Conference to Advance Women. It's January 9th in Miami. Go to theadvancedconference.com to learn more and get your tickets. We also have Sandy Glant, who's going to talk about, she's going to share productivity tips. We've got Tiffany Taylor, who's going to talk about some pretty exciting things that she has done and some wonderful takeaways for you. Renee Reinhardt, Patron Reinhardt is going to be speaking about how she took her business and just scaled it nationally in just a matter of years. And she continues to excel at her business as a new wife and new mom.
Yeah.
We've got, who else?
Shelley Williams.
Shelley Williams from Hard Rock International is going to speak about how to really kind of act as an entrepreneur within your corporate job. It's a different way of looking at it, and it's a very powerful way of looking at it.
Karen Sanchez.
We've got Karen Sanchez, who is your favorite financial advisor, is going to be speaking about mindset around money, which is critical if you want to make more of it, to really understand your mindset and possibly make a few changes to your mindset around money.
Mm-hmm.
Did we get everybody?
We got everybody. We have you.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I'll be there. I'll be speaking. I'll talk. Hey, thanks again for joining us today. Mwah.